Hey guys, Josh here from Momentum Productions, and today we're going to be talking about the DJI Spark. This is a new kind of drone fitted for more of those amateur, novice people who are entering the drone industry. So a lot of you have been asking me if the DJI Spark is better than the DJI Mavic Pro, and if the DJI Spark can be used professionally on shoots. We are going to be talking about a whole bunch of specs ranging from picture quality to how well it flies and all that other good stuff. So before I actually tell you my opinion on the Spark, let's go through some of the specs and compare it with the DJI Mavic Pro. First off, the DJI Mavic Pro comes with a foldable design, which is what makes it so compact and easy to use, while the Spark is not foldable. But does it really need to be? Weighing in at just 300 grams. So that's pretty tiny. When it comes down to the remote controller, both the DJI Mavic Pro and the DJI Spark come with digital remote control built into your iPhone. So basically, you can control both drones via your smartphone. Now let's talk about flight time. The DJI Mavic Pro is rated at about 27 minutes, but real-time use I got about 24-25 minutes. It comes with a 3-cell battery at 3830 milliamp hours. So the DJI Mavic Pro gets a really nice flight time, going well over 20 minutes using a 3-cell 3830 milliamp hour battery. The DJI Spark, however, gets a rated maximum of 16-minute flight time. In real life situations, I think that's going to go down to about 13 minutes. And it also uses a 3-cell battery, but with a much lower capacity, being rated at 1480 milliamp hours. So next let's talk about the gimbal. On the DJI Spark, we have a 2-axis gimbal. It stabilizes both the pitch and roll axis, but not the yaw. In other words, the pan. However, the DJI Mavic Pro does all 3 axes: roll, pitch, and yaw. What is the benefit in that? Well, you're going to get more stable footage, especially when you're banking right or banking left or making abrupt movements. Next, let's talk about performance. The max speed on the DJI Spark is 31 miles per hour, while the DJI Mavic Pro does 40 miles per hour. That's nearly a 10 mile per hour increase. Honestly, on my Mavic, I've gotten up to 44-45 miles per hour. So I'm pretty happy with that speed. It's almost as fast as my Phantom 4, which is back there. When it comes down to satellite positioning, both drones use GPS and GLONASS systems. When it comes down to hover accuracy, both the DJI Mavic Pro and the DJI Spark are the same. They use downward facing sensors that track the ground and forward obstacle sensing sensors. So let's talk about controllable range. How far can the DJI Spark fly without losing connection? And the answer is 1.2 miles. The DJI Mavic Pro does a whopping 4.3 miles. Huge difference there. And for many of you, that's a deal breaker. So let's talk about the sensors on the Spark and the Mavic Pro. Both drones have obstacle avoidance sensors, and both drones have downward facing tracking sensors and ultrasonic sensors. So the Spark can sense obstacles at about a 16-foot distance. The Mavic Pro senses obstacles within 32 feet. That's double the range of the Spark. Now let's talk about my favorite part, the cameras. Both cameras on both drones come with the CMOS 1/2.3-inch sensor. Both cameras also have a similar megapixel count. The DJI Spark comes at 12 megapixels, while the DJI Mavic Pro comes with a 12.35 megapixel count. So when it comes down to recording 4K, I'm sad to state that the DJI Spark is not able to record in 4K. However, its maximum resolution is 1080p at 30 frames per second. It would have been great to see 60 frames per second. So that feature alone is a pretty big deal breaker for me. The Mavic Pro can shoot up to 4K at 30 frames per second, and gladly, it can also shoot at 1080p up to 96 frames per second. So as a filmmaker, you have to look at bitrate. Bitrate is basically the data count on how much picture data you are getting from each sensor. The DJI Spark does this at 24 megabits per second, while the Mavic Pro does 60 megabits per second. You're getting more than double the picture data on the DJI Mavic Pro. This gives you better dynamic range and the ability to manipulate colors in post-production a lot better than on the DJI Spark. When you're shooting photos, the DJI Spark can only record on JPEG format, but the DJI Mavic Pro can shoot at JPEG or RAW DNG. This gives you better picture, better color, and overall a better result when it comes to post-processing. When it comes to being user-friendly, the DJI Spark is a lot more user-friendly because you can take off from your palm. There's a lot of different hand gestures that work with the Spark that don't work with the Mavic Pro. It is not necessary to buy a remote controller for either drone. However, for both drones, I strongly recommend getting a controller. Next, let's talk about price. The Mavic Pro with the remote controller comes set at $999, while the DJI Spark comes at $499, not including the controller. The controller is another $300. With the Mavic Pro, you're getting better flight time, better controllable range, better picture quality, better stabilization, and in my opinion, a better deal. So when it comes down to being a professional filmmaker, I would strongly go with the DJI Mavic Pro. The DJI Spark is great for amateur and novice flyers, but right now, in my career, I think the Mavic Pro is a perfect choice. So it comes down to the user. Is picture quality important to you? If yes, go with the Mavic Pro. If you're a novice and you don't really care too much about picture quality or stabilization, go for the DJI Spark. Both are great drones for fun, but only one is better for filmmaking. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Also, click the like button and share this video with your friends. You can also check out my website at www.capturethemomentum.com. Sign up to my free newsletter where I give away free cinematography and photography tips. Also, subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. And if you're a company and you'd like me to review your products or create tutorials on them, you can email me at info@capturethemomentum.com. I can't wait to see what you guys create. I'll see you up in the air. Bye-bye.